Welcome to our webinar entitled Learn and Play in PreK. In Approaches to Play and Learning, we look at how young children play and learn. In other words, we view observable behaviors that show us how children participate in social and learning activities. This domain supports development in all other GELD's domains, including physical development and motor skills, social and emotional development, communication, language and literacy, and cognitive development. You'll see that the way your learning environment and classroom activities are implemented is the driving force behind play and learning in your classroom. This podcast is designed to help you apply knowledge of the Approaches to Play and Learning domain to guide children in creating learning materials that can be used in interesting ways throughout the day. So let's get started. In order to encourage children to develop APL skills, it's important to understand the stages of play development. Culture also influences how and why children select and play with toys and other items. Culture is influenced by home practices and those of the local community. Keep in mind that we need to get to know our children individually in order to create and implement meaningful learning activities. Children in your class who have less experience playing or who are younger will enjoy activities that allow them to use familiar materials. These children may often engage in parallel play, that is, play alongside their friends. They may repeat activities such as feeding the same baby doll or stacking blocks high again and again. These activities help them feel successful. Children who are more mature may enjoy exploring materials and playing with friends. They may engage in cooperative play as they build forts, cook food, or take turns using measuring tools in the sandbox. Invite but never force your children to use new materials and toys. Include a variety of activities and materials to use during structured and unstructured times that challenge your children to learn new skills. To encourage children to develop APL skills such as initiative, exploration, attentiveness, persistence, imagination, and cooperative play, you need to be intentional. Use strategies to help children learn to interact and communicate with each other. Let's take a look at some of these strategies, which will inspire you and encourage the development of APL skills in your classroom. These language modeling strategies include open-ended questioning, self-talk, wait time, parallel talk, and conversational turn-taking. When you use these strategies, you can create talking and learning partnerships between yourself and the children in your class. These relationships form between you and the children because you're an active listener, keen observer, and responsive to them. These strategies help you guide your children to explore materials and communicate during activities throughout the day. One idea is to ask open-ended questions. Ask them during activities to guide children to expand and develop play themes. This is an effective strategy for helping them explain how they approached a task. With your support and guidance, they are learning to problem solve using trial and error. How do you know if your questions for children are open-ended? Well, here's a tip. Always ask a question that you do not know the answer to. We should encourage and teach children to use reasoning and problem-solving skills to express their feelings or figure out the answer to questions. Let's practice. Think about a question to ask Naomi as she plays alone on the balance beam. Remember, it should be a question that you do not know the answer to. Did you think of an open-ended question? Here's one we thought to ask. Naomi, why did you choose to play on the balance beam by yourself today? If Naomi responds with a shrug of the shoulders or an I don't know, help her think of a more thoughtful answer by modeling conversational skills. Say, well, I know sometimes when I'm by myself, it gives me a chance to use my brain and think about my family or my house. And sometimes I get to sing or dance because no one is around to watch me. What do you like to do by yourself? Self-talk is talking out loud about your actions. You talk about what you are doing as you perform a task or play with the child. Here's an example of a teacher explaining her actions. I'm using this shovel to dig a deep hole so that we can plant our Juliet tomato seeds. When you use self-talk, you give children the opportunity to hear you attach meaning to your actions. Here's another example. Okay guys, we just finished using our cutting board and knife to cut our vegetables. Now let's put our vegetable pieces in this silver mixing bowl, then we'll take it to the kitchen to cook it and make soup. Wait time or pausing while speaking with children allows you to balance your interaction and talk time. As the child engages with toys or in an activity, you talk to him, then pause or wait before you continue your verbal comments. Miss James looks at a transportation book with Hosea and comments, there are lots of planes on this page. I wonder about the function of each one. Remember, young children need 5 to 10 seconds to process information and respond when talking with you. Hosea looks at the pictures and says, maybe this one flies really fast in the Army. My dad showed me a picture of this one. He was standing in front of it and he said it goes really fast and shoots. Parallel talk is a strategy used to focus on the actions of the child, mapping out what she is doing using meaningful phrases and sentences. I see that you are gently cupping the soil in both hands to lay over the seed you just planted. To encourage the child to take a conversational turn, you can also use the phrase, your turn, pause or wait, and give her the opportunity to communicate. Layla, my daughter, has a t-shirt just like yours. We bought it at Walmart. Now it's your turn to talk and tell me where you bought your shirt. As you use this strategy, you'll notice that children in your care want to have more and more talking time with you. They enjoy having time to share meaningful information when it's their turn to talk. Supporting learning in APL can be both fun and challenging for both you and your children. Here are some activities that will help children develop skills within this domain. Your children will love to create new materials using recyclables. Encourage them to think about creating materials on their own that can be used throughout the day. Here's an example. Discovery bottles can be used in many meaningful ways in your classroom and outside play area. Provide empty, clean, and dry water bottles with caps, as well as recyclables such as bells, different sized pom-poms, ribbon, buttons, spangles, and shredded paper. Your goal is for the children to create, problem solve, and use the materials in imaginative and cooperative ways. It's critical that you set the stage for learning as well as how you use language modeling strategies. Explain to the children that they can create whatever they would like with the materials. Encourage them to think about how to use their creations in the classroom for such things as musical instruments, microphones, or even a new beverage for the dolls in housekeeping to drink. You can alter this activity by taking the children on a nature walk. Give each child a small paper bag to pick up leaves, acorns, or rocks. Following each activity, you may want to write their ideas on chart paper as they discuss them with you. Let them think about how to use their creations in the classroom for such things as science exhibits or as items to add to a pot for stew they are making in housekeeping. Remember, if you tell them what to do and how to do it, the activity becomes a craft and not an opportunity to build skills in APL. Be available to support them in working toward their goals, but don't complete the items for them. The process is more important than the product. Scaffold their learning by encouraging your children to expand and develop their play themes. You'll notice that your children are more willing to participate because the activities meet their developmental needs and interests. Thank you for watching our podcast on approaches to play and learning. Please remember to complete the 10 assessment questions in order to receive credit for viewing this podcast.